Welcome back to the railroad, everyone. In today's video, we are converting an Aristocraft center cab industrial switcher engine from track-powered to Revolution Train Engineer RC with diesel sounds, and we're going to add a battery car. We're going to get into an Aristocraft center cab industrial switcher. These are like 45 tonners. These are the smaller of the switchers. GE made some of these. I don't know if this is considered a GE, but it's a cute little switcher, and we're going to set it up for RC and battery control. I'm also going to put a sound system in this one. So we've tested it out already. It seems to run well. It's virtually brand new. There's very little that's been done to these wheels. This is an older version. This is when the trucks actually split in half to open them up. So it's not one of the easier ones to work on. I see I'm going to have to put the engineer back in his seat. He fell out of his seat. No problem. That's an easy fix. Okay, so we're going to get into this today and start doing some disassembly. One of the first things you want to do is try and remove a lot of the handrails because they will break. A good set of needle nose to break these loose. And this one's already loose. That one's broken already. We'll have to do some repairs on some of these. That happens a lot, though. So there's some damage on this engine already. It has been played with. Okay. We have all those off. We have one bit of damage here. The other end looks okay. So now it's a matter of removing the cab. All right, so we want to take off these platforms. And the way to do that are there are two screws here and here. You remove those two, make sure you put them in a container. And then you have to remove also the knuckle coupler. What I recommend is when you take something off, if you don't store the bolts in a container like this, put them back where they go. Okay. Now, there's the knuckle coupler for that end. Because these trucks are extremely heavy, they're well made, I want to get them out of the way first. You're going to find 3 screws here, here, and one in the center here on each side of each of these trucks. You need to take those 3 out, pull out the 3 on the other side, and then each truck will have just a plug-in. So you can unplug it, and we'll mark which truck is on which end with a piece of tape. That way when we go to replace it, we won't be mixing them up. Even though I think they can be reversed, I'd rather not take a chance. You only have to remove the top screw from each side and the truck will come right off. These 2 lower screws only hold your fake side plates on. So now this end should come off. And then our wire should pull out. There. Okay, there's one truck. And you don't have to take the side plates off. They probably actually give it a little more stability when you're working with it. So I'm going to put this side plate back on. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I want to mark this unit. So I'll take a piece of tape and place, actually I'm going to place it right up here on the cross member and right here so we know which is which. Okay, and we'll pull these apart and inspect them after a while. This is actually nice. These are metal cases. So I would say there's not much chance of these being bad, especially as they're so new. We will lubricate them good. All right, let's get this other one off. We've got those off. It's much lighter now, almost no weight at all. And we know which one goes on which end. So that being said, these are very nice looking little motors. Okay, so what I found is that the red and black wires are the wires that actually pick up power from your wheel sets to take it back to the circuit board. Your blue and green wires are the wires that actually bring power from your circuit board back into your motors on the motor blocks. So when you hook up for a wireless unit, you're going to make sure you plug in the blue and green, but you don't necessarily have to plug in the red and black, because we will not be doing track power pickup. Now, when you look at these, we've taken off the railings and such. This is just slid into position, and this just sits here. So if we're gingerly taking it apart, you slide the bottom out lightly, and then lift, because these two corners go down into pockets here. This ramp that is movable sets in between this and this unit, so it can be lifted up or put down. So that's one thing you want to make sure you get when you put it back together. But I want to take these off because bouncing this around, you're going to break more of these posts. We've already broken one. We'll do something to fix that or to make it look better. But it's easy enough to pull these off and save them. All right, now we want to take the two cabs off so we can get to the circuit boards, and we need to fix the engineer in here. But to do that, these boxes, there's 4 of them, are all held in with one screw and then 2 wedges into the side of the cab, or inside of the cowling. So we'll want to take those off first. That's this bolt here and this bolt here for this side, and then there's 2 of this identical down below. So we're going to take those off first. We'll start with this one. Keep my big hands out of the way so you can actually see. Okay. Now, it just has 2 tabs to hold it into there. And we're going to put that screw right back in it, so that when we do go to put these on, we'll know exactly which screws go where. Doesn't matter, these are all the same, so they can go in either position, forward or aft, right or left, so long as they fit on the cab. And the other side comes off just the same as this. All right, now that we've got the boxes off the sides, the only thing left are these 2 cabs to take off. They should come off without a problem. This screw is into this cab. I would say this is the same, it's into the forward cab. So what we're looking at is 1, 2, 3, 4 for each end. So let's try this. Okay, I guess these pieces will have to come off to get access to the screws there. So that's these side panels. And I think I can get in there. Yeah. Now we can get access to these screws. And it's always good to have a pair of small needle-nose pliers. All right, and to get this done, I actually had to take off all the screws. And then when it comes apart, this is what you have. You'll also have the engineer. I put him back in, glued him in place. And you'll have the 2 side windows. They actually fell out in the process. The 2 cab pieces are held together onto the center cab with a single screw in here and down here. And then, of course, these are your wires to go up to your lights in your cab. And these do the lights forward, these do the lights reverse. It's a very interesting setup. I'm going to look into this a little deeper and decide which way I want to go, if I want to remove the circuit board or just add mine and tap into it. So, we'll be right back. Okay, before I go much further, I want to inspect the power blocks. Now, these things are steel, and there's screws on each side, so let's see how they're made. These are the instructions from Aristocraft. So you can see that there's 2 halves. They have 4 pins to hold them in place, and each of the wheels has a screw to pull it off, and then you can pull the case off from one side or the other, I assume. So we're going to try taking this set of wheels off first. Okay, and it has not just a screw, but it has a lock washer. So you want to make sure those go back on and stay in place when you put them on. Okay, now let's take this one off, and we'll need a flat screwdriver to do a little prying. Okay. All right, there are 4 screws, 2 here, 2 here. So let's see what we've got. Okay, now these screws are a coarser thread, so those that go into the wheel sets are the fine threads. which it wouldn't hurt having a separate bin for each of the types of screws. Okay, and there's our motor block with the gear sets. Everything looks good. These are all ball bearing shafts. They really put a lot into this, and they made this a very good unit. Now, it does have a separator on here because you're pulling track power from each side of the axles. We're not going to pull power from the track. I'm going to go ahead and remove the track power. All right, that was our track power. Everything looks good. I am going to lube this up a little bit, but I don't think we have any broken parts. Okay, so we have a lightweight oil and a heavy oil. And as this still is showing some gear lube, I'm not going to worry about putting more grease on, but I am going to oil each of the bearing surfaces. And when we put it back together, I'll remove the other two wheels and lube those. And I am going to use a little heavyweight oil on the actual gears here on both ends, and a little bit around this gear and this gear. But the gears all look good. I don't see any cracks. I also want to lube this motor, and to lube that, just a little bit on the ends. Okay, now let's put this back on. Okay, case looks like it's together. And remember, the case screws were the heavier threads. Okay. And a bolt with a lock washer on each one. So, and then we flip it. And we use a little lightweight oil around the bearing surface. Okay. And the wheel sets back on. Okay. And we're going to do the other one too, and then get ready for our next step. I don't know about you, but I'm getting tired. So in part 2, we will get into the wiring of the engine and a special battery car. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that. Let's go run some trains.
Okay. Hold up.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed that. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Be safe, stay healthy, we'll see you down the rails, and God bless.